Back at the community college, I put the word out that I was starting a jazz ensemble, talking it up with faculty members, students, anyone who would listen. By the end of the week, a few kids showed up to check it out, including a drummer who played in a local rock band. Rock, jazz, I didn't care as long as he could keep the beat. Keith was a great kid, so eager to please, and a real ambassador for the group that was just beginning to take shape. As a drummer, a strong downbeat was not his forte. As a person, keeping everyone upbeat was. Once again, I was blessed with a talented electric guitarist. Bob commuted daily from Buffalo, about an hour away. Easygoing and open to all suggestions, he brought a wonderful attitude and work ethic to the band. My first surprise was when Kevin, a student in my music theory class, actually showed up to audition. This was a big decision for Kevin for reasons I came to understand later. For years, his local high school music teacher had been telling Kevin he didn't have a talented bone in his body. As a marching band director, the man probably needed someone to play the sousaphone, and Kevin wasn't about to subject himself to that degradation. Thus, the belittling negative comments persisted. Plus, Kevin was just one of those people who lacked confidence in his own abilities. It's pretty understandable then, given his verbal assurances that he wasn't really much of a guitarist, that I wasn't expecting anything out of the ordinary. So when he started to play his acoustic guitar, Kevin's raw talent blew me away. Rock, bluegrass, folk, jazz, you name it, his chops were amazing. It was all I could do not to pull out a lifetime performance contract for his immediate signature. Kevin, that was great playing. Now, I'm really not too good. I don't think I have what it takes. Are you out of your mind? You've got more talent in your pinky finger than most other musicians can ever hope to have in their lifetime. Well, thanks, but... No buts, Kevin. You'll be a stabilizing force in this band. Okay, but... Next entrant, please. Julian walked in, all smiles, as he pulled his trumpet out and began warming up. A townie from the local high school, Julian would hold down the lead trumpet chair in our new band. A great kid, Julian. Tragically, he left us all too soon. We still hadn't found a pianist or bassist, necessities for the band. Kevin and Julian told me they knew a piano player who was a part-time art student at the college. Bring him in! The next day, they successfully coaxed Bill into the music room. A big teddy bear of a kid with long blonde hair. Bill tried for 5 minutes to convince me with words that he really didn't play that well, insisting he enjoyed piano simply for the relaxation it provided him. Bill was, and is to this day, the most understated person you could imagine. A loving and gentle soul with a kind heart the size of Texas. What would you like to play for me, Bill? Gee, I don't know. I really don't have anything prepared. Well, how about if you just sit at the piano and doodle? Sure. Here we go again, I thought to myself as I sat listening. Where are these kids coming from anyway? Visions of Connecticut floated through my mind. I couldn't be this lucky again, could I? Bill, I'd love for you to play in the band. Really? Yeah, really. You play beautifully. Just what we need. Really? Then a flutist here, a saxophonist there, a trombonist, all except the elusive bassist. Kevin unselfishly agreed to switch from acoustic guitar to electric bass for the good of the band, despite his fear of failure on an instrument he hadn't played in years. I promised him we would figure out a way to feature him on guitar as well, once we found another bassist to alternate with him. Next, I found a tall and lanky troubled soul named Richard, tripping through life without direction or motivation. Not only a pianist of considerable classical training, Rich doubled on sousaphone. He must have been the one who agreed to do what Kevin's high school band director ordered. In fact, Rich's favorite solo act was simultaneously playing the sousaphone with left hand and the piano with right hand, his own version of the one-man band. One day, Kevin asked if I might consider including a singer in the band. It seems he knew someone who might be interested. Absolutely! An hour later, Betsy graced our rehearsal room. This lovely young lass from the hills near Letchworth State Park had no problem with shyness. She took control of the room from the moment she entered, but don't tell her I said that. What would you like to sing, Betsy?
You know Summertime?
You bet. Key of C minor, okay?
I don't know. Sure, it doesn't matter to me.
I accompanied her on piano with a bluesy version of this Gershwin standard, wondering what to expect when she made her musical entrance on my cue. Within moments, I had my answer, and thoughts of Joanne and Janet flooded my mind. This can't be happening, I thought. It was all I could do to keep from jumping with joy.
So what do you think? Can I sing with the band?
I don't think there's any question about that, Betsy. Betsy brought a trumpet player named Lisa to the next rehearsal. Julian brought another trumpet player, this one named Harry. Someone else brought Betty, a baritone saxophonist. Finally, in walks Mike, whom no one brought. A tortured soul from the local high school orchestra, Mike wondered if he could play violin with the band. Violin really doesn't fit into the band category, and he can't really play all that well, but what the heck? I was committed to including everyone without exception, just as I had done in Connecticut. I knew in advance that this open musical structure would require me to write and arrange all the music for the group, given its most unusual instrumentation, but I relished the challenge. Word spread quickly about the new jazz ensemble at the college. After 2 weeks of rehearsal, in walks another drummer. Jim played in a rock band locally. More to the point, however, I immediately recognized that he could provide the rock-solid foundation the band needed if it hoped to rise above mediocrity. Knowing what I had to do, prior to the next rehearsal, I informed Keith that Jim would be taking over the primary drum seat. I assured Keith I wanted him to continue as a percussionist and also become the band manager, a role he richly deserved and one I needed to take a major burden off my shoulders. I learned a valuable lesson that day, though I'm not sure how I could have avoided it. Keith broke down in tears in front of his peers, pleading his case. I choked up with emotion myself. His hurt was palpable. In one respect, Keith was right. He had indeed been a forceful promoter in helping to attract the first members of the group, and he was an energetic and valued team player. Keith, I promise you'll still get to play drums. It just means you'll be alternating with another drummer.
But which of us will get to play the most?
Jim. I never saw Keith again. I spent several guilt-ridden weeks wondering if I had done the right thing. Balancing the personalities and talents of any group for the common good is a challenge to be faced by any teacher, especially in the arts. Sometimes there isn't a right answer, only an unavoidable answer. I wanted to get this group performing as soon as possible, ambitiously scheduling its first concert for late October. That would allow only a month to finish writing the music and rehearsing the band. But I knew we could do it, and the kids were beyond eager. The college didn't yet have a concert hall or auditorium, but it did have an unfinished theater space up on the top floor awaiting a theater department. We kidnapped a group of shop students to design and construct a set depicting an intimate music club, and they proved themselves worthy of the task. Complete with a series of curtained partitions, spotlights, and candlelit tables, you felt like you were walking into a New York bistro as you entered our performance space. Our first show would be on an afternoon to showcase the new jazz ensemble for fellow students, faculty, and administrators. Posters were printed, plastered around the campus, and the buzz started to spread. You guessed it, another unavoidable lesson in life. During one of those ridiculous departmental faculty meetings, only 2 weeks prior to the performance date, my department chairman threw me for a loop.
Jeff, you'll have to reschedule your upcoming concert since it conflicts with our next meeting.
Excuse me?
I said you'll have to reschedule your upcoming concert.
I will not reschedule.
Excuse me?
Look, Frank, these kids have worked extremely hard for this first performance. You can't just pull the rug out from under them. What kind of message do you think we convey if something as lame as a faculty meeting could be considered an excuse for postponing their first concert? Wouldn't it be easier to reschedule the faculty meeting?
No, it wouldn't be.
I'd like a vote here, I demanded, looking at my colleague's right hand in the air. Raise your hand if you'd be willing to reschedule our next meeting so our first musical performance can go on as planned. The Philadelphia ceramics teacher raised his hand without hesitation. Slowly but surely, everyone else followed, some even smiling at the prospect of revolt. No holdouts, no wimps, end of meeting. The next day, the chairman invited me into his office.
You came on kind of strong yesterday, don't you think?
I didn't mean to, Frank.
What you meant and what you did are two different things.
Look, Frank, you knew what you were getting when you brought me to teach here. At least now you know that I have strong beliefs, and I'm not afraid to stand up for them. I apologize for what happened, but I won't apologize for doing what had to be done for the sake of my students and my music program. A very long pause ensued as he considered my argument.
Okay, I can accept that, but next time let's keep it more civil. There's no need for disagreement or argument. Your concert can proceed as planned. I just hope it's worth it.
Oh, it'll be worth it, I promised. Over the next 6 years, Frank would be my staunchest advocate. While I can't say we became friends, we did enjoy a mutual collegial respect. He stood behind me many times in the face of administrative pressures unseen to the rest of us, and the department flourished because of it.